creature's skin was translucent under the fluorescent lights, and I could see something moving beneath it, something that pulsed with a rhythm that wasn't quite a heartbeat. 3 days ago, I was a microbiologist analyzing soil samples. Now I was standing in a room that didn't exist on any government map, staring at something that shouldn't exist at all. It spoke without moving what I assumed was its mouth. The voice came from everywhere and nowhere, a frequency that made my teeth ache. "You want to know about your prophet," it said. Not a question. I hadn't asked anything yet. My hand was still on the sealed door behind me, my clearance badge still warm against my chest. They told me I was here to assess biological compatibility. They told me it had been asking for someone with a specific knowledge base. Theology and molecular biology. An unusual combination. I published paper on the statistical probability of resurrection mythology across cultures. Apparently that was enough. I started, but it raised what might have been a hand, and the air between us shimmered like heat over asphalt. "Your species has 27 hours before we leave your solar system. We have been here for 2043 of your years, observing, recording, correcting when necessary. You call one of those corrections Jesus of Nazareth." The room tilted. I pressed my palm against the wall, felt the cold concrete anchor me to something real. My doctorate in microbiology hadn't prepared me for this. My minor in comparative religion hadn't prepared me for this. Nothing had prepared me for this. "That's not possible," I said, and my voice sounded small, swallowed by the white walls and the humming equipment and the thing that stood before me, 8 feet, tall and impossibly thin, with eyes that had too many dimensions. "Possibility is a concept your species uses to avoid uncomfortable truths," it said. "Let me show you what actually happened." It touched the air, and the air opened. I don't know how else to describe it. Reality peeled back like skin, and underneath was something else, something that made my brain scream because it was trying to process 4 dimensions through 3-dimensional architecture. I saw Earth, but not Earth. I saw time like a ribbon, and I could see all of it at once, and it was beautiful and terrible, and I was crying without knowing why. "There," the creature said, and one of its fingers extended, impossibly long, pointing to a specific moment in the ribbon. "Year 0 by your calendar. Incorrect, but we'll use your framework." The scene crystallized in front of me. I was standing in it, but not standing. Observing, but from the inside. A desert landscape, brutally hot. A woman giving birth in conditions that would have horrified any modern hospital. The baby crowned, emerged, screamed its first breath into air thick with flies and dust and the smell of animals. "Normal human birth," the creature said. "Healthy male. Nothing exceptional. Watch." The baby was perhaps 3 hours old when the light came. Not from above, from within the child itself. A surge of something that made the Geiger counter. I didn't know I was holding Spike so hard the needle broke. The baby's eyes opened, and they weren't human eyes anymore. They were doorways. "We had been watching your species for 800 years at that point," the creature said. Its voice was clinical now, a scientist presenting data. "Your evolution was promising but critically flawed. You had developed consciousness, language, abstract thought, tribal cooperation. But you were missing something essential, a framework for self-sacrifice that extended beyond immediate genetic relatives. Without it, your species would destroy itself within 3,000 years. We had seen it happen 17 times on other worlds. The pattern was consistent." The scene shifted. The child was 12 now, arguing with priests in a temple. But it wasn't the child arguing. I could see the overlay, the second presence inside the boy's body, something vast and incomprehensible wearing human flesh like a garment. "We chose him. Carefully," the creature continued. "Genetic markers for empathy, intelligence, physical resilience. Born into a culture with established monotheistic framework and messianic expectation. Optimal conditions for message propagation. We integrated our consciousness with his at birth. Symbiosis, not possession. He was still human. We were still us. Together, we became something that could bridge the gap. My legs wouldn't hold me anymore. I sat down hard on the floor, still watching the scene unfold. Jesus at 30 now, gathering followers. I could see the entity inside him, puppeting some movements, suggesting words, but not controlling everything. There was genuine human confusion in his eyes sometimes, genuine fear, genuine love. The miracles, I whispered. Technology, the creature said simply. Cellular manipulation for the healing, molecular restructuring for the water and wine. We have been seeding your planet with recovery agents for millennia. They're in your soil, your water, your air, invisible to you, inactive until we trigger them. When he touched the lepers, we activated localized bursts. Their cells regenerated according to original DNA blueprints. You call it miracle. We call it applied biology. The scene accelerated. 3 years of teaching, of parables, of slowly building a framework. I watched Jesus struggle with the entity inside him, argue with it, sometimes submit, sometimes resist. He was terrified most of the time. The entity was patient. The message was simple, the creature said. Love beyond tribe, sacrifice for strangers, eternal consequence for temporal choice. We needed to install a moral operating system that could scale beyond genetic imperative. Fear of death wasn't enough. You needed fear of something after death. And hope. For something better. Heaven, I said. My throat was raw. You invented heaven. We invented the framework you would accept, it corrected. Your species needs narrative. Abstraction doesn't motivate you. So we gave you a story with stakes. Eternal paradise for compliance. Eternal suffering for defection. Simple game theory wrapped in poetry. The crucifixion played out in front of me, and I had to look away. But I could still hear it. The sounds were worse than anything I'd imagined. The entity inside Jesus was silent during most of it, letting the human experience the full weight of what was happening. Only at the end did it speak, and I heard the words in Aramaic and English simultaneously. It is finished. We separated from him 3 minutes before brain death, the creature said. He died fully human, fully aware, fully terrified. That was necessary. The sacrifice had to be real. Your species can detect insincerity at a molecular level, mirror neurons, empathy mapping. If he hadn't truly suffered, the message wouldn't have propagated. The tomb, 3 days. I watched the body decompose at accelerated speed, bacteria consuming flesh, gases building, the natural process of death proceeding exactly as biology dictated. Then, on the 3rd day, the same light I'd seen at birth, the recovery agents activated at maximum capacity, cells reconstructed from quantum blueprints we'd stored at the moment of death. Not resurrection, reconstitution. We needed witnesses. The creature said. 12 core propagators. 500 secondary witnesses. Enough to establish textual tradition, but not so many that Roman authorities would investigate too thoroughly. We managed the spread carefully. Allowed enough persecution to create martyrdom narrative. Suppressed enough to prevent early extinction. Guided translation and compilation. Inserted ourselves into visions and revelations. Your book of Revelation was our final upload. Apocalyptic imagery to maintain urgency across generations. I was shaking. Every foundation I'd ever stood on was crumbling. Why are you telling me this? Because we're leaving, it said. And you need to know what we're leaving behind. The scene changed again. I saw the last 2,000 years compressed into minutes. Christianity spreading like wildfire, splintering, reforming, justifying crusades and inquisitions and genocides, and also hospitals and universities and human rights movements. The framework we'd been given, twisted and purified and twisted again, an engine of both tremendous good and unthinkable evil. We gave you a tool, the creature said. You used it exactly as we predicted. 73%. Alignment with projected outcomes, within acceptable parameters. Your species has not destroyed itself. You have developed slowly toward post-tribal ethics. You are ready for the next phase. What next phase? The revelation you're experiencing now, it said. In 27 hours we will broadcast this conversation to every electronic device on your planet simultaneously. Every human will see what you're seeing, will know what you know. The framework we installed will collapse. Your species will have to choose what to build in its place. The horror of it hit me like a physical thing. You'll destroy civilization. Everything we've built, it's all resting on that foundation. Morality, law, meaning, hope. You pull that out and everything falls. Yes, it said. That is the test. Test. We have done this with 42 species, the creature said. We install a framework. We guide evolution toward post-tribal ethics. Then we reveal the framework was artificial. 27 species collapsed into chaos and went extinct within 500 years. 15 species built something new, something better. Something that didn't require invisible policemen or promised rewards. Authentic morality emerging from collective recognition of shared existence. I stood up. My legs were shaking, but they held. And if we're one of the 27? Then you join the others. Your planet will be marked as a failed experiment. We'll return in 10,000 years and start, again, with whatever species has evolved to fill your niche. That's monstrous. That's parenting, it said, and for the first time, I heard something like emotion in its voice. We gave you training wheels. Now we're taking them off. You either learn to balance or you fall. We cannot stay forever. We have other children, other worlds. Your species must stand on its own or not at all. The scene dissolved. I was back in the White Room, staring at the creature, my hands clenched so tight my nails were drawing blood from my palms. Why me? I asked. Why tell me first? Because you're trained to think in both frameworks, it said. Scientific and theological. You can translate what I've told you into language that might help your species navigate what's coming. Or you can choose to say nothing. Lock this conversation in your mind. Let the broadcast happen cold, without preparation. That choice is yours. It moved toward the wall, and the wall opened for it, another tear in reality that made my eyes water. Wait, I said. Heaven. Is there anything after death? Anything real? It paused, turned those impossible eyes back to me. We don't know, it said. We've never died. We've existed for 4 million of your years, and we've never encountered anything that survives biological cessation. No souls, no afterlife, no cosmic justice. When you die, you stop. That's all we've ever observed. Then what's the point? The question came out broken. If there's nothing after, if it's all just biology and chemistry, and then nothing, what's the fucking point? The point, it said slowly, is what you make while you're here, the connections you build, the suffering you alleviate, the beauty you create, the love you give. We gave your species a story about eternity because you weren't ready for the truth. The truth is that this is all you get. These decades, this planet, each other. That should make it more precious, not less. That should make every moment sacred, not meaningless. But people need hope, I said. Need to believe there's more. Then give them better. Hope, it said. Hope in what humans can build together. Hope in progress. Hope in each other. We gave you a story about a perfect father watching from above. Perhaps it's time you grew up and became your own parents. It stepped through the tear in the wall and was gone. I stood alone in the white room for what might have been hours or minutes. Time felt negotiable. The door behind me unsealed with a hiss, and 2 soldiers were there, asking if I was all right. Did I need medical attention? What did it say? What did it tell me? I walked past them without answering. Through corridors that bent. Wrong. Past laboratories full of equipment I couldn't identify. Up 7 levels to the surface where the sun was setting over the New Mexico desert in shades of orange and red that looked exactly like the sky over Golgotha 2,000 years ago. My phone had 63 missed calls. The news was already starting. Strange atmospheric phenomena worldwide. Unexplained electromagnetic pulses. Governments scrambling. 27 hours, the creature had said. I had 27 hours to decide what to do with what I knew. I drove back to my apartment in silence, sat at my kitchen table, opened my laptop, started typing. This document you're reading now, this confession or warning or translation, I don't know what to call it. I keep thinking about my grandmother. She died when I was 15, holding a rosary, whispering prayers to a God she'd loved her entire life. The peace on her face at the end. If I'd told her then what I know now, would it have helped or destroyed her? Would the truth have liberated or shattered her? I think about the homeless shelter I volunteered at in college, run by a Methodist church. The genuine compassion of those people, feeding strangers, clothing them, treating them like family because they believed Jesus commanded it. If they knew Jesus was a biological interface for an alien consciousness, would they stop? Or would the work itself be enough? I think about the Crusades, the Inquisition, the witch burnings, the justifications for slavery and genocide and oppression, all wrapped in scriptural authority. Maybe those wouldn't have happened without the framework, or maybe humans would have found other excuses. We're talented at justifying cruelty. The creature said 27 hours. I've used 4 of them writing this. 23 remain. In 23 hours, everyone will see what I've seen, know what I know. The architecture of civilization will crack down the middle. Some people will adapt, some will break, some will deny, call it a trick, cling harder to faith. Some will spiral into nihilism, some will burn churches. Some will burn themselves, and I'm sitting here trying to decide if I should hit send on this document, if I should try to prepare people, give them a framework for processing what's coming, or if that would just make it worse. Create panic before the panic. Start the collapse early. The creature said I was chosen because I could think in both frameworks, science and faith. But right now, I can't think in either. I just feel numb, hollowed out, like something essential was scooped out of my chest, and nothing's left but cavity. I keep refreshing the news. Governments are noticing now. The electromagnetic signatures are intensifying. Every satellite, every phone, every screen preparing to receive the broadcast. They're calling it solar flares, atmospheric anomalies, anything but what it is. 22 hours and 17 minutes. I opened my grandmother's Bible, the one she left me. I haven't looked at it in years. The pages are thin as skin, marked with her handwriting in the margins. John 3:16 underlined so many times the paper's torn. For God so loved the world. Except God was a committee of alien scientists, and love was behavioral conditioning, and the world was a petri dish. I want to be angry, but I'm too tired. I want to grieve, but I don't know what I'm grieving. The loss of something I never had. The revelation that every prayer I ever sent spiraled into nothing. That my grandmother's soul isn't anywhere. She's just gone. Atoms scattered. Electricity dispersed. And the woman I loved is as extinct as a burned-out star. The creature said this should make it more precious. This brief flicker of consciousness. These decades. But it doesn't feel precious. It feels cruel. To be given awareness, just to have it snuffed out. To build meaning knowing it's temporary. To love people knowing they'll disappear completely. No reunion, no heaven, no eternal embrace. Just memory. And then not even that when the last person who remembers you dies too. 21 hours and 42 minutes. My phone is ringing again. My department chair. Probably wants to know where I am, why I missed the faculty meeting, why I'm not answering emails. In 21 hours, none of that will matter. In 21 hours, every university on Earth will shut down as people grapple with what's been revealed. Or maybe they won't. Maybe people will just go to work anyway. Because what else is there to do when the universe turns out to be cold and empty and indifferent? I'm thinking about the creature's eyes, the dimensions I couldn't process. How it saw time like a ribbon, all of it at once. Past and future and present folded together. From that perspective, does death even matter? If every moment exists simultaneously, then my grandmother is still alive in her moments, always will be, frozen in the amber of space-time, whispering her prayers forever in that hospital bed in 1997. But that's not comfort. That's just physics. And she's still gone from here. From now. From me. 20 hours and 58 minutes. I need to make a decision. Hit send or don't. Warn people or stay silent. But I don't know what would help. I don't know if anything helps. Maybe the creature was right. Maybe we need to grow up. Stop looking for cosmic parents. Stop waiting. And for rescue. Take responsibility for our own meaning, our own ethics, our own purpose. But that's so hard. That's so much harder than faith. Faith is surrender. Letting something bigger carry the weight. This is picking up the weight yourself, knowing there's no one to help, no safety net, no guarantee of anything except eventual cessation. I'm not strong enough for that. I don't think most people are. 20 hours and 31 minutes. The sun is coming up now. I haven't slept. Outside my window, the city is waking up normally. People getting coffee, walking dogs, going to jobs, living lives built on foundations that will shatter before sunset. Should I tell them? Should I send this document to everyone I know? Post it online? Call a press conference? Or should I let the creature do it? Let the broadcast happen clean, without my interpretation muddying the water. I keep my cursor over the send button. 19 hours and 47 minutes. The creature said 15 species built something better, something authentic. I wonder what that looked like. How did they do it? How did they stare into meaninglessness and construct meaning anyway? How did they love without promised reward? How did they sacrifice without expectation of cosmic justice? Maybe that's the test. Not whether we can survive the revelation, but whether we can build something true after the artificial framework collapses. Whether we're capable of authentic goodness when there's no invisible policeman. Whether we can be better than we were when we thought someone was watching. I don't know if we can. I've studied human history. I know what we're capable of when we think no one's judging us. When we think there are no consequences. But I also know what we're capable of at our best. The moments of genuine compassion. Self-sacrifice for strangers. People running into burning buildings. Donating kidneys to people they've never met. Creating art that will outlive them. Fighting for justice they won't live to see. Maybe we were doing that all along. Maybe the framework just helped us see what was already there. And maybe without it, we'll find it again. Or not. 18 hours and 12 minutes. I just realized I'm hungry. My body doesn't care about apocalypse. It still needs fuel, still needs water, still needs sleep. Biology continuing its operations regardless of existential crisis. Maybe that's the answer. Maybe that's all we are and all we need to be. Biology that somehow became aware of itself. Chemistry that learned to love. Physics that writes poetry. Not special, not chosen, not watched over by cosmic parents. Just here, just now. just each other. The cursor is still blinking over the send button. 17 hours and 39 minutes. I think I'm going to hit it. Send this document everywhere I can. Not because it will help. I don't know if it will help. But because silence feels like cowardice. Because people deserve warning, even if warning is just fear spread wider. Because the creature gave me a choice, and choosing nothing is still a choice. Because my grandmother would have wanted me to tell the truth, even if the truth destroys everything she believed in. Because 17 hours isn't enough time to find a better answer. My finger is on the button. 16 hours and 54 minutes. If you're reading this, I've already sent it. Or the broadcast has already happened. Or I'm dead and someone found this document on my laptop. Doesn't matter which. What matters is what happens next. The creature was right about one thing. We've been children, afraid of the dark, inventing stories about monsters and guardians to make the dark less terrifying, building elaborate mythologies to avoid the simple truth that we're alone and small and temporary. But children grow up. And maybe it's time. Maybe it's time to look at the dark without flinching. To acknowledge that there's no one coming to save us, no paradise waiting, no cosmic justice balancing scales. Just us, just this planet, just these brief decades. Maybe that's enough. Maybe it has to be. 16 hours and 11 minutes. I'm hitting send. The screen goes white for a moment after I click. Then my email client confirms. Sent to 47 contacts. Posted to 3 platforms. Uploaded to 2 document sharing sites. There's no taking it back now. My hands are shaking. I close the laptop. Stand up. Walk to the window. The city below is still normal, still innocent. Still operating under the old rules where prayers mean something and death isn't the end and morality has cosmic enforcement. 15 hours and 53 minutes until that all changes. I should eat something. Shower, sleep. Prepare somehow. But preparation for what? How do you prepare for the entire framework of meaning to collapse? What do you pack for the end of eternity? My phone starts ringing immediately. My department chair. I silence it. Then my sister. Silence. A number I don't recognize. Silence. They're reading it now, processing, calling to ask if I've lost my mind, if this is a breakdown, a hoax, a terrible joke. In 15 hours, they'll know it isn't. I leave my apartment. I don't know where I'm going, just walking. The morning air is cold and clean. October in the high desert. The sky is that particular shade of blue that makes you understand why ancient people thought heaven was up there. Perfect and distant and untouchable. Except there's nothing up there. Just vacuum and radiation and rocks spinning in darkness. No throne, no angels, no grandmother watching over me with cosmic wisdom and eternal love. Just physics. I end up at the coffee shop on Central. The barista knows me. Makes my usual without asking. Americano, extra shot. She's maybe 22. Nose ring. Art school dropout. She has a small cross tattooed on her wrist. I stare at it while she makes my drink. In 15 hours and 37 minutes, that symbol will mean something different. Not the sacrifice of a god. Just the execution of a man with an alien parasite, a biological experiment, a framework installation. Does that make the symbol meaningless? Or does meaning exist independent of origin? She hands me the coffee, smiles. Rough night? You have no idea, I say. Try me, she says. Dead week at the university. Everyone looks like zombies. I almost laugh. Zombies. The Walking Dead. That's what we'll all be in 15 hours. Dead to our old understanding. Resurrected into something new and terrible and uncertain. Just existential dread, I tell her. The usual, she grins. Same. Capitalism, climate change, student loans. The hits keep coming. Yeah, I say, something like that. I sit by the window, drink my coffee, watch people pass, a mother with a stroller, an old man with a cane, teenagers laughing too loud, construction workers on break. Every single one of them living in a universe where meaning is guaranteed, where their choices echo into eternity, where someone is keeping score. 14 hours and 49 minutes until they learn the truth. I wonder how many will break. Statistics run through my head. Suicide rates. Mental. Health infrastructure already stretched to breaking. How many people are held together by nothing but the promise of heaven? How many avoid darkness only because they fear hell? The creature said 27 species collapsed. 15 survived. We're the 43rd. Coin flip odds. Maybe slightly. Maybe worse. My phone won't stop buzzing. I turn it off completely. Sit in silence. Let the coffee go cold in my hands. A priest comes in, old, white collar, orders tea, sits 3 tables away, opens a leather-bound book, starts reading. His lips move slightly. Prayer or study. From here, I can't tell. In 14 hours and 31 minutes, his entire vocation becomes obsolete. His direct line to God revealed as radiostatic. His intercessions as meaningful as talking to the wall. His promise of salvation as empty as any other beautiful lie we tell ourselves to make death bearable. What does he do then? What does anyone do when their purpose evaporates? I think about my own work. Microbiology. At least that's still real. Cells still divide. DNA still replicates. Proteins still fold. The mechanisms of life continue regardless of whether they were designed by a god or engineered by committee or stumbled upon through blind chemistry. But why study them? Why cure diseases if death is just cessation? Why alleviate suffering if there's no cosmic ledger, no justice, no balancing? The creature's answer floats back. Because this is all we get. Because every moment matters precisely because it ends. Because love is more valuable when it's not mandatory. Because kindness without reward is the only authentic kindness. Pretty philosophy. I don't know if I believe it. I don't know if belief even matters anymore. 13 hours and 57 minutes. The priest stands, leaves his tea mostly, untouched, walks out. His shoulders are bent like he's carrying weight. Maybe he senses something. Maybe the air itself is changing. Maybe I'm projecting my own dread onto a stranger. More people come in. The coffee shop fills with the usual morning crowd. Laptops opening. Meetings starting. Someone's birthday. They're singing. The barista brings out a cupcake with a candle. 26 years old today. They're celebrating, taking photos, posting them to social media with hashtags about gratitude and blessings and God's plan. In 13 hours and 41 minutes, God's plan will be revealed as an alien protocol. Blessings as random probability. Gratitude as a useful emotional framework for social cohesion, but ultimately directed at nothing. Do I tell them? Walk over, interrupt the party, explain that I've seen proof that everything they believe is constructed? That their prayers bounce off the ceiling? That when they die they're gone? What would that accomplish? 13 hours of existential terror before the broadcast does it anyway. I stay quiet. Let them celebrate. Let them have this moment of uncomplicated joy before complication becomes permanent. The cupcake is chocolate. The candle is blue. The birthday person is crying happy tears. Their friends are laughing. Someone makes a joke I can't hear. The moment is perfect and meaningless, and precious precisely because it's both. Maybe the creature was right. Maybe meaning is what we make. Maybe these people, celebrating a random solar revolution with sugar and fire and community, are doing something more profound than any prayer. They're choosing joy in a universe that doesn't care. They're creating meaning ex nihilo. That's more miraculous than any resurrection. Or maybe I'm trying to find comfort where there isn't any. Maybe I'm already doing what humans do, building new frameworks, new stories, new ways to avoid the dark. 13 hours and 19 minutes. I leave the coffee shop, walk toward campus. My office is in the biology building. 4th floor. I have a cactus on the windowsill. That's somehow still alive despite my neglect. I have books I've been meaning to read. Papers to grade. A life that was normal 48 hours ago. The campus is quiet. Between terms. A few students throwing a frisbee. Someone playing guitar under a tree. The buildings are old. Territorial style. Adobe and wood. They've stood for over a century. I wonder if they'll still be standing in a week, a month, a year. If we're one of the 27 species that collapse, how long does it take? The creature didn't say. Maybe it's fast. Riots, war, nuclear exchange, civilization eating itself in. Days. Maybe it's slow. Decay. Entropy. Meaning draining out until we're just going through motions, breeding and dying and nothing else. My office door is locked. I haven't been here since they took me to the facility. Was that 3 days ago? 4. Time is slippery. I unlock the door, step inside. Step. Everything is exactly where I left it. Chaos organized into piles. Half-drunk coffee cup growing mold. The cactus looking judgmental. I sit at my desk. Turn on my computer. 63 emails. I ignore them. Open the security footage from the facility instead. I shouldn't have access to this. But in the chaos of my departure, someone forgot to revoke my clearance, or didn't care, or assumed I wouldn't think to look. I watch myself enter the white room, watch the creature speak, watch reality tear open. The footage is silent, but I remember every word, every revelation, every crack in the foundation of everything. I watch myself leave, looking smaller somehow, diminished, like something essential was removed. 12 hours and 47 minutes. I download the footage. 3 copies, different drives, different clouds, insurance, evidence, proof that I'm not insane, that this happened, that what's coming is real. Then I delete my search history, close the tabs, sit in silence. Through my window I can see the campus, the students, the trees, the mountains in the distance, purple and ancient and indifferent. Those mountains were here before humans. They'll be here after. They don't care if we believe in God or aliens or nothing. They just are. Maybe that's the lesson. Maybe we're supposed to learn to just be, without justification, without grand narrative, without cosmic purpose, just molecules arranging themselves into patterns complex enough to ask why. And the answer is, there is no why. Or the why is whatever we decide it is. My phone is still off. I turn it back on. 217 notifications, texts, calls, emails, social media mentions. My document is spreading. People are reading, reacting. Most think it's fiction, a creative writing. Exercise, an ARG. Some are taking it seriously, preparing, panicking, praying. 12 hours and 33 minutes until prayer is revealed as talking to yourself. I should feel guilty. I've started a panic. But the panic was coming anyway. I just moved it forward by half a day. Gave people warning. Maybe that's cruel. Maybe ignorance for 12 more hours would have been kinder. I don't know. I can't know. Morality without framework is impossible. Or maybe it's the only real morality. Choosing kindness because it's kind, not because someone's watching. Acting ethically because ethics, matter to you, not because hell is waiting. But that requires strength I don't have. Conviction I can't muster. I'm just tired. So deeply tired. I put my head on my desk, close my eyes, think about sleeping. But my brain won't stop. It keeps replaying the scene, Jesus on the cross, the entity inside, him going silent, letting him die alone and human and terrified. That was the cruelest part. Not the physical pain, the abandonment. My God, why have you forsaken me? Not metaphor, not theater. Real confusion, real fear. A man dying badly, wondering why the presence in his head had gone quiet. Because the experiment required authentic suffering, required real sacrifice, required him to die believing he was alone. And he was alone. We all are. That's the truth the creature left us with. We're born alone. We die alone. And the time between is just us pretending otherwise. Building. Connections that feel real but ultimately dissolve. Loving people who disappear. Creating meaning that evaporates the moment our neurons stop firing. 11 hours and 58 minutes. Someone knocks on my door. I don't move. Don't answer. They knock again, harder. Dr. Chen, are you in there? My department chair. I recognize the voice, concerned, insistent. I know you're in there. Your car is in the lot. We need to talk about what you posted. I stay silent. Stay still. People are worried. Your sister called me, your colleagues. That document you shared. It's causing panic. We need to discuss this. Panic. Yes, appropriate response. The universe is empty and cold and we've been lied to for 2,000 years. Panic seems reasonable. I'm calling security if you don't answer. I stand, open the door. He looks relieved, then concerned. I probably look terrible. I haven't showered. Haven't slept. Haven't processed anything. Jesus Christ, he says, then flinches at his own words. Maybe already adapting to the new reality where that name means something different. Can I come in? He asks. I step aside. Let him enter. He closes the door gently. Looks around my office like he's never seen it before. Maybe he hasn't. We're not close. Departmental meetings. Brief hallway conversations. That's the extent of our relationship. That document, he starts. The one about aliens and Jesus. Did you write that? Yes. Is it real? Yes. He sits down hard in my spare chair. It creaks. He's older than me, 50-something. Wedding ring, photos of grandkids on his phone. Methodist, I think, or Presbyterian, one of the mainline denominations. How, he says. Not a question, just a word. They took me to a facility, classified, underground. There was a creature, not human. It told me everything, showed me. I watched it happen, the birth, the crucifixion, the resurrection, all of it. And you believed it? I saw it. Not video, not simulation. Real. I was there, inside the moment. I don't know how to explain it, but it was real. He's quiet for a long time. Outside, the students are still throwing the frisbee. Someone's still playing guitar. The world continuing its rotation, indifferent to revelation. My wife, he says quietly. She's sick, stage 4. We've been praying, believing, hoping for miracle or at least for heaven. Something after, some reunion, 11 hours and 41 minutes. I'm sorry, I say, and it feels profoundly inadequate. Is there anything, he asks, any chance the creature was lying? I don't think it knows how to lie. It thinks in probabilities, data, observation. It's been watching us for 2,000 years. If there was something after death, some persistence of consciousness, it would have detected it. Maybe it missed something. Maybe there's something too small to detect, too quantum, too outside its framework. I want to give him that hope. Want to say yes, maybe, possibly. But I'm so tired of beautiful lies. Maybe, I say anyway. Because what does it cost me? 12 hours. He gets 12 more hours of hope. That's something. That's worth the compromise. He nods, wipes his eyes, stands. When, he asks. When does everyone know? 11 hours and 39 minutes. Broadcast to every electronic device simultaneously. And then? Then we find out which kind of species we are. The kind that builds something new or the kind that collapses. What do you think we'll do? I don't know. I've been human my whole life and I still don't understand us. He almost smiles. Yeah, me neither. He leaves. I watch him walk across campus toward the parking lot. Slower than when he arrived. Heavier. Already carrying the weight of what's coming. 11 hours and 37 minutes. I leave my office, lock the door, walk to the biology lab. It's empty. Saturday. No classes. I have keys. Security. Clearance. I let myself in. The lab is familiar, comfortable. Microscopes, centrifuges, petri dishes growing colonies. This is real. This is solid. Bacteria don't care about meaning. They just divide, consume, excrete, exist. I prepare a slide. E. coli. Simple, standard. I've looked at it 10,000 times. Put it under the microscope. Adjust the focus. There. Perfect little rods. Flagella moving, consuming sugar, producing waste. The machinery of life operating exactly as chemistry demands. Beautiful in its simplicity, meaningless in its perfection. Except I find it meaningful. Not because anyone told me to. Not because bacteria have cosmic significance. But because complexity emerged from simplicity, and that emergence is worth noticing. Worth studying. Worth dedicating life to understanding. Maybe that's enough. Maybe meaning doesn't need to be imposed from outside. Maybe it's just what happens when pattern recognition machines complex enough to ask questions look at patterns. 11 hours and 23 minutes. I hear something. Footsteps. Someone else has keys. I turn. It's Dr. Ramirez from chemistry. She stops when she sees me. Couldn't sleep either? She asks. Haven't tried. She comes closer. Looks at the slide. E. coli. Yeah. Classic. We stand in silence, watching bacteria divide, chemistry expressing itself, molecules arranging and rearranging according to rules that exist whether we understand them or not. I read your document, she says. And I don't know if I believe it, but I can't stop thinking about it. 11 hours and 21 minutes. Then you'll know for sure. What if it's true? She asks. What do we do? I don't know. Keep working, maybe. Keep studying. Keep trying to understand. What else is there? Meaning, she says. Purpose. Reason. All the things that make the work worthwhile. Maybe those were always ours, I say. Maybe they were never given. Maybe we built them ourselves and forgot. Maybe the creature just gave us permission to see what we'd already created. She considers this. Nods, slowly. Maybe. Or maybe I'm making up new stories because I can't handle the truth. Maybe we're just animals with enough neurons to be miserable about being animals. Cheerful? Sorry. Don't be. Honesty is rare. Might as well indulge in it while we can. She prepares her own slide. Something more complex. I don't ask. We work in silence. Two scientists doing science while the world prepares to end, or transform, or collapse, or become something we can't predict. 11 hours and 14 minutes. My phone rings. I check the caller ID. My sister. I answer. Where are you? She demands. I've been calling for hours. Lab. Are you okay? Define okay. God, don't start. Are you safe? Are you having a breakdown? Do I need to come get you? I'm fine. I'm working. Working? The world is going insane about your document and you're working? What else should I be doing? Silence. Then quieter. Is it real? Yes. How do you know? I was there. I saw. I talked to the creature. It showed me everything. And you believe it? I don't have a choice. Believing has nothing to do with it. It's just true. More silence. I hear her breathing, trying to process she's always been. The faithful one. Youth group, mission trips, Bible study. She named her firstborn Grace, her second faith. She built her entire life on the framework that's about to crumble. What do I tell my kids? She asks, and her voice breaks. 11 hours and 11 minutes. I don't know, I say. The truth, maybe. Age-appropriate version. Or let them keep believing as long as they can. I don't know what's right. There has to be something, some way to make sense of this. Maybe sense is optional. Maybe we just have to survive it. That's not good enough. It's all I have. She's crying now. I can hear it. My sister, who's always been strong, who held the family together when Mom died, who organized the funeral, who gave the eulogy, who talked about reunion in heaven with such certainty that even I almost believed it. I'm sorry, I say. I'm so sorry. Don't apologize for telling the truth. That's not your fault. Feels like my fault. Well, it's not. If it's anyone's fault, it's the creatures, or God's, or whoever designed this fucked up universe where consciousness exists just to suffer. I've never heard her curse before, not once, 34 years, not even when Mom died. The framework is already cracking. I have to go, she says. Kids need lunch, life continuing regardless. Yeah, call me, after, when it's done, when everyone knows. Okay. I love you. Love you too. She hangs up. I stand holding the phone. Dr. Ramirez is pretending not to have heard. Focused on her slide, giving me privacy, 11 hours and 7 minutes. I go back to my E. coli, still dividing, still consuming, still being, unchanged by human drama, unchanged by revelation, just existing according to its nature. I envy it, the simplicity, no consciousness to carry, no meaning to create. No dread of mortality, just chemistry happening. But I wouldn't trade places. Even knowing what I know, even carrying this weight, I'd rather be human and aware and terrified than bacteria, and simple and satisfied. Maybe that's the answer. Maybe consciousness is suffering, but it's worth it. Worth it to see stars. Worth it to understand cells. Worth it to love people even knowing they'll disappear. Worth it to build meaning even knowing it's temporary. Or maybe that's just another story I'm telling myself. Another framework to avoid the void. 11 hours and 3 minutes. Doctor. Ramirez leaves. Wishes me luck. Whatever that means now. I stay. Watch cells divide. Watch patterns emerge. Watch life happen in miniature. Someone comes in. A student. Undergrad. Looks surprised to see me. Oh, sorry. Didn't know anyone was here. It's fine. What do you need? Just wanted to check my samples. Got cultures growing. Go ahead. He moves to the incubator. Opens it. Removes a tray. His hands are shaking. You okay? I ask. Yeah. No, I don't know. Did you see that crazy document going around about aliens and Jesus? I wrote it. He freezes. Looks at me. Seriously? Seriously. Is it real? In 11 hours and 1 minute, you'll find out for sure. But yes, it's real. He sits down hard. Fuck. Yeah. What are we supposed to do? I keep getting asked that. I keep not having an answer. My parents are evangelical, like hardcore. This is going to destroy them. I know. I'm sorry. Don't be sorry. If it's true, it's true. Truth doesn't apologize. Smart kid. Maybe there's hope. If the young ones can adapt, can build something new, maybe we're one of the 15 species. Maybe we make it. What are you working on? I ask, gesturing to his samples. Antibiotic resistance. Testing whether horizontal gene transfer increases in stressed populations. Does it? Looks like it. Bacteria share survival information when threatened, like they're cooperating. Cooperation in single-celled organisms, that's something. Yeah. Makes you think. If bacteria can work together, maybe humans can too. Maybe. He takes his samples. Leaves. I'm alone again. 10 hours and 57 minutes. The day is passing. Outside the window, the sun is climbing. Normal Saturday. Normal sky. Normal world, for a few more hours. I think about calling my father, but we haven't spoken in 3 years. He wouldn't answer. And even if he did, what would I say? Hey, Dad, remember how you disowned me for questioning faith? Well, turns out I was right. God's an alien protocol. Talk soon. No. Let him find out with everyone else. Let him process alone, like he wanted. I clean my workspace, put away the slides, turn off the microscope, lock the lab, walk back across campus. The frisbee players are gone. The guitar player too. It's afternoon now. Hot, desert sun. I'm sweating through my shirt. I stop at the student union. Buy a sandwich I don't want. Sit in. The food court. 2 other people here, both staring at phones, both probably reading about the broadcast, about the document, about the end of the world as we know it. 10 hours and 43 minutes. I eat mechanically. The sandwich tastes like nothing, or I taste like nothing, one or the other. A campus security guard walks by, sees me, stops. Dr. Chen? Yeah. You okay? We got a call about you. Concerned party. My department chair, probably. I'm fine. You sure? You look rough? It's been a long week. Tell me about it. Everyone's on edge. Something in the air. Yeah, something like that. He lingers, uncertain. Protocol says he should investigate further. But what's he going to do? Commit me for telling the truth? Just take care of yourself, he says finally. Whatever's going on, take care. I will. Thanks. He leaves. I finish the sandwich, throw away the wrapper. Walk outside. 10 hours and 38 minutes. I need to decide where to be when it happens. The broadcast. Where do you want to be when civilization potentially collapses? Home seems wrong. Too isolated. Too much time to spiral. Campus seems wrong. Too many people. Too much chaos potential. Start walking. No destination. Just movement. Through streets I've walked 1,000 times. Past houses, churches, schools, coffee shops. All of it normal. All of it doomed. A church parking lot is full. Saturday evening service. I can hear singing through the walls. Hymns, praise, people. Worshipping something that doesn't exist. Or that exists but doesn't care. Or that cares but is actually an alien consciousness wearing human mythology like a mask. 10 hours and 31 minutes until they know. Should I go in? Warn them? Give them time to prepare? Or let them have this last service? This last moment of uncomplicated faith? I keep walking. A playground. Kids on swings. Parents watching. Normal childhood Saturday. Those kids will grow up in a different world. A world without divine promise. Without cosmic justice. Without guaranteed meaning. Is that better or worse? Can't decide. 10 hours and 27 minutes. My feet carry me without conscious direction. I end up at the edge of town. Desert stretching forever. Mountains in the distance. Sky turning orange as the sun drops. I sit on a rock. Watch the sunset. Think about the creature. About its 4 million years of existence. About watching civilizations rise and fall across the galaxy. About being parent to species that don't know their children. What must it be like? To live that long? To see that much? To know with certainty that consciousness is temporary. Meaning is constructed. Death is final. Does it carry the weight? Or has it transcended weight? Become something beyond suffering, beyond joy, beyond anything human enough to understand? 10 hours and 22 minutes. The sky is beautiful. Reds and purples and oranges bleeding together. Physics and atmosphere and light waves creating accidental art. No one planned this. No one designed it. It just happened. Chemistry and geometry and the particular angle of our planetary tilt. And it's beautiful anyway. Meaning emerging from mechanism. Significance appearing in random configuration. Maybe that's all meaning ever was. Pattern. Recognition evolved to help us survive, accidentally creating aesthetics. Beauty is just our neurons firing in response to certain stimuli. Love is biochemistry. Purpose is electrical impulse. Everything reduces to chemistry. And yet it still feels like more. Sitting here, watching the sky, knowing I'm just atoms arranged temporarily into awareness. It still feels significant. Maybe significance doesn't need to be objective to be real. Maybe subjective meaning counts. Maybe what we feel matters, even if no one's keeping score. Or maybe I'm still building frameworks because I can't handle framework collapse. 10 hours and 17 minutes. My phone buzzes. Text from an unknown number. This is Major Patterson. We need you back at the facility. Now. I don't respond. What are they going to do? Arrest me? Lock me up for telling the truth they were planning to broadcast anyway. Another text. The creature wants to talk to you again. Says it miscalculated. This is urgent. My heart rate spikes. Miscalculated. What does that mean? Too late to stop the broadcast? Humanity won't survive? The test results are already in? I stand, start walking back toward town, toward my car, toward whatever urgent miscalculation requires my presence. 10 hours and 14 minutes. The drive to the facility is automatic. I don't remember making the turns, don't remember getting on the highway. Just suddenly, I'm showing my badge, descending, corridors, elevators, down. Major Patterson meets me at the 7th level. He looks worse than last time, exhausted, haunted. It's been asking for you for 3 hours, he says. Won't talk to anyone else. Why me? It says you're the translator, the one who can think in both languages. I'm not that special. It disagrees. He leads me to the White Room. The door unseals. The creature is there. Same as before. Impossible geometry. Too many dimensions. Eyes that hurt to look at. You sent the document, it says. Not accusatory. Just factual. Yes. Earlier than optimal, but within acceptable parameters. We've been monitoring. Response. Analyzing patterns. Making predictions. And? We miscalculated one variable. Human capacity for adaptive meaning-making. We based our models on biological consciousness. But you are more. You are cultural consciousness. Mimetic entities. Ideas that propagate independent of genetic inheritance. I wait. Let it continue. We thought removing the framework would collapse meaning entirely. But you've already started building new frameworks. Within hours. Your document itself became a framework. A new story to explain the void. Other humans are creating adjacent frameworks. Different stories, different meanings, some contradictory, but all serving the same function. So we may have underestimated your species. The 27 failed civilizations didn't have this quality. They couldn't generate meaning fast enough to replace what was removed. But you are doing it already. Before the broadcast even happens. 10 hours and 9 minutes. Are you canceling it? I ask. The broadcast? No, but we're changing the prediction. 73% probability you're one of the 15 survivors. Up from 49% 6 hours ago. Because we make up stories? Because you make up stories faster than the old stories can die. Your species is a meaning-generating machine. Remove one framework and 3 more emerge to fill the void. It's inefficient, chaotic, contradictory, but it might be resilient enough. Relief washes through me. 73%. Not certain, not guaranteed, but better than coin flip. Why tell me this? I ask. Because you're afraid. I can detect it. Biochemical markers, cortisol levels, heart rate variability. You think you've doomed your species by warning them, but you've done the opposite. You've given them time to start building, to practice meaning-making before the crisis. You've improved survival probability by approximately 18%. I sit down on the floor. Legs won't hold me. So I didn't destroy everything. You didn't. You destroyed the old framework. But you initiated the new frameworks. Both are necessary. Destruction and creation, death and birth. You are a catalyst. I don't want to be a catalyst, I just wanted to tell the truth. Truth is always catalyst. It destroys what's false and fertilizes what's possible. 10 hours and 6 minutes. What happens now? Ask. The broadcast proceeds as scheduled. Every human sees what you saw. The framework collapses globally. Chaos for approximately 72 hours. Then the meaning-making begins in earnest. Within 1 week, 17 major new frameworks will emerge. Religious, secular, scientific, philosophical. Most will be partial, incomplete, but they'll serve. They'll give people enough structure to function. Within 1 month, consolidation begins. The frameworks merge, compete, evolve. Within 1 year, 3 dominant paradigms emerge. Within 1 generation, integration, a new framework that incorporates the truth of our intervention, but transcends it. You can see all that? We've seen it 14 times before. Your species follows the pattern. With variation. Always variation. But the overall trajectory is clear. And the 28%? The possibility we fail? That remains. Free will exists. You could still choose collapse. Choose nihilism. Choose destruction. The probability is real, but declining. The creature moves closer. I can feel the electromagnetic field around it, like standing near a transformer. My skin prickles. We're leaving in 10 hours and 5 minutes, it says. Regardless of outcome, our observation period is complete. You will not see us again. Your species must proceed alone. What if we need help? What if we start to fail? Then you fail. We cannot stay. We have other children, other worlds. We've given you what we can. The rest is yours. It touches the air. Reality opens. I see the ribbon again. Time spread out like a map. I see the next 10 hours, the broadcast, the chaos, the fear, but also the creativity, the meaning-making. Humans doing what humans do best, finding pattern in randomness, creating significance from void. I see my sister explaining to her children. See my department chair holding his wife's hand. See the young student in the lab sharing his findings. See the barista with the cross tattoo covering it with a new design. See the priest kneeling in an empty church, not praying, just being. See billions of humans, all processing, all adapting, all building their own answers. You'll be okay, the creature says. Probably, 73%. Those are good odds. Better than coin flip. Much better. Be proud. Your species is remarkable, flawed, irrational, self-destructive, but also creative, resilient, meaning-generating even in void. You might be the most successful experiment yet. We're not an experiment. We're people. You are both. Accept the complexity. The scene closes. Reality seals. I'm back in the White Room. The creature is moving toward the wall again. Wait, I say. One more question. It pauses. Do you feel anything? Watching us struggle. Do you care what happens? Long silence, longer than before. When it speaks, the voice is different. Softer somehow, more like sound and less like frequency. We are not supposed to feel. We are observers, scientists. But 4 million years is a long time. And consciousness, even alien consciousness, is vulnerable to connection. So yes, we feel, we care. We hope you survive. Not because of protocols or data or predictions, but because we have watched you for so long that you feel like ours, like children, even though you never were, even though you never will be. It steps through the wall. I'm alone. 10 hours and 2 minutes. Major Patterson escorts me back to the surface. Doesn't ask what was said. Maybe he doesn't want to know. Maybe knowing makes it harder. What will you do? He asks when we reach the exit. When it happens? I don't know. Be somewhere. Watch. See what we become. We're mobilizing, preparing for riots, Looting, worst-case scenarios. 73% says that won't happen. I'll take those odds, but we prepare anyway. Yeah, prepare anyway. Drive back to town. The sun is almost gone now. Twilight, that liminal space between day and night, between old world and new, 9 hours and 56 minutes. I go home, shower finally, change clothes, eat something real, drink water, attend to biology. The body continuing regardless of consciousness crisis. I open my laptop. The document has been shared 3 million times. Comments in 60 languages. Most think it's fiction. Some think it's revelation. A few think it's the beginning of the end. They're all right. 9 hours and 51 minutes. I record a video. Just me. Talking to camera. Explaining what I can. What the creature told me. The 73%. The prediction of survival. The hope. I upload it. Title it, Update from the Translator. Let it spread. Then I close the laptop, turn off my phone, sit in silence. 9 hours and 47 minutes. What do you do with 9 hours and 47 minutes before the world changes? How do you fill that time? I could work, study, read, distract. But distraction feels dishonest. This is happening. This is real. Might as well face it directly. I make tea. Sit by my window. Watch the stars appear. Same stars that have been there for billions of years. Same stars that will be there for billions more. Indifferent to human drama. Indifferent to meaning or meaninglessness. Just burning. Just being. Just existing according to physical law. And somehow that's comforting. The permanence of impermanence. Everything changes, but change itself is constant. Frameworks rise and fall, but the underlying reality persists. Meaning comes and goes, but the universe continues regardless. We matter and don't matter. Both are true. The paradox is the point. 9 hours and 43 minutes. I think about my grandmother one more time. Her deathbed, her rosary, her certainty. She's not in heaven. She's nowhere. Just gone. Atoms scattered. Energy dispersed. The pattern that was her consciousness erased completely. But the love I felt for her, that was real. The memories I carry, those are real. The way she shaped me, that persists, not in cosmic ledger, just in me, in the ongoing pattern that I am. Maybe that's enough. Maybe we persist in each other, in the marks we leave, in the connections we build, in the meaning we create together, not eternal, but real while it lasts. 9 hours and 40 minutes until everyone knows what I know. And then we find out what humans do with truth. I'm betting on 73%. I'm betting we build something better. Or maybe I'm just making up another story. But that's what humans do. We make stories. We make meaning. We make it all up. And maybe that's the most divine thing we've ever done.